The next is unfinished business. Request for a review edit.
Okay, so what I'm gonna show you, board members, is that those policies that we passed in May, there is one that we need to edit. There's actually two, because we made the amendment to the agenda to edit the other. So, let me pull that up for you really quick. And I think you have the policies in your packet, don't you?
Yeah.
Yay! Good job. All right. So first we're looking at not the social media policy, but the request for review. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So everyone remember when we had a meeting in May, we made a new request for review instead of the reconsideration form that we had previously. One of the things we talked about is about making sure it matches with our current policies, meaning what it takes to get a library card. So it has to match, and this does not match. And we discussed it a little bit. So what I need to change is county of residence. And let me find my note. We like to do a / here, do county of residence, and then where you reside. And then this second page, we allow folks who rent or own property to have a library card. So the small change we have to make, which we mentioned at the meeting in May, is that here where it says the individual must be a resident owned property, that is incorrect. We will be marking out owned property, and they just need to be a resident. So that means they can rent, they can own, they just need to live in GNC Metro or any counties. So those are the changes I would like to make to the existing request for review of library resources, so that it matches our library card, how to apply for a library card.
Discussion from the board. Question,
What we have here is the original thing, not.
Yes, you don't have to change them, yeah. So we're just gonna take out on the second page, own property, and then on that first page, county of residence / where you reside. That may not be necessary, but I'm just trying to make it clear it's where you live. What do you think?
any more discussion or questions?
Makes sense to you? All right.
It corrects the issues we saw last time.
Yes, I agree.
Then I would entertain a motion that we amend this edit to the amendment where it fits our policies. Is that correct?
So moved.
We have a so moved. You got a second? Any more discussion? If not, I will ask for approval by ayes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So be it. Then we have that changed out. That was request review edit. We added,
Yes.
under unfinished business, our amended agenda to edit the social media guidelines.
Yes, that's right. So if you look at the social media policy, and I've pulled it up here, and I will, there we go. So according to our attorney, we need to edit this policy to state that board members cannot disparage, use harassing speech, or defamation on their own personal Facebook pages. So the attorney has suggested that. So we have to change this to where board members cannot do that.
Where would you see that?
I don't know where it would be added. third parties. The issue is if you have a board member, which is disparaging the library board members or library staff.
Why not, so we have third-party posts.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, the library is not responsible, the next line, library reserves the right to delete those posts and complaints, and negative comments, and then I guess you could add board members just under that.
I would think that
Into a
you
new
could.
section.
Well, it doesn't, I don't know that we're beating around the bush, doesn't make any difference where we can
Right.
insert it in here. But does the board feel this needs to be inserted, I think, in that place?
Yes.
I mean,
I agree with that.
I mean, it's, Amber has some, I don't know whether you've got them to show,
I will show. Would you like to see an example of a board?
this is what we're, this is what we're, and, there has been, and I'm going to say this.
And please do be quiet in the audience when I show this, and I have removed names.
Yes, I don't know what you got going on me, but I've been disparaged on, and the whole thing was false, but, and to the point where you just see a lawyer about a citizen deceased, deceased. Deceased. We need this, and we just need to get the wording in, and we just place it in the paragraph by itself.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a big line there.
Yes.
I know Luther comes to there.
No, Luther is not the chair of the Democratic
I
Party.
don't know, it's that people can't see it.
He's a nice. Would you like me to read it for you? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Well, let me, Amber, because if I can pronounce the words, if there's not any 3 and 4 syllable words, it would be good. The Director Amber Briggs has been filing out Yancey County Library with grooming books for children this past year. And we, as board members and county commissioners, cannot do anything about it. In other words, Yancey County tax money is going into a library where they have no say about the library. Amber Briggs, as the director, has no boss and can spend the money any way she wants to. She has spread all these lies about how Yancey County cannot make it on its own because she is getting ready to lose her job.
This is the board member.
Yeah, it's a rather unprofessional.
So it also has a second part, but I'm only doing this to show you, and I've also removed the name, but I just need to explain to you that it is our attorney's belief that this has to be written in our social media policy. Otherwise, it's a violation of board responsibility. So, anyway, just showing you some examples.
That we, one more time, that we add that board members may not make disparaging remarks. Disparaging remarks or defamation, hateful or harassing speech. Yes, sir.
Coming from, a county commissioner perspective, I would ask that we ask the council to word that in a way that's more fitting, because,
I agree.
in case that were to come up in meetings later
Yeah.
on.
That's what I'll do.
Does that make sense?
It does, it makes perfect sense. So then that's
And when
what,
us deciding where to put it or how to word it, let's let council decide that.
okay,
Because they're the ones gonna be using the policy there for the.
yes. So if we could, we need to have a motion to ask council for his advisement on how to word that within the social media policy.
Couldn't have said it better myself, but, I would entertain a motion.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Okay, go ahead. We're listening to the motion. The motion is that council provide the board with, proper wording and placement of articles of disparagement on board members in our social media policy.
Blue's running, Chris.
Did you get that down right?
Yeah, word for word.
And I'm thinking that Clayton has made a motion.
Yes, sir.
I need a second. You got a second? Who made the second? Josh, I thought it all, but I'm not sure, just wanna make sure. All in favor, aye again, if that suits the board. Motion forward. Any against?
Should we make a motion to approve the social media policy after revising it for the council? And that way it's already in place and it doesn't have to wait until we can get back together again and have it on.
I'll make a motion that we.
Just real quick for the minutes.
Social media,
Sorry, I'm just,
Yeah, but for the minutes, right quick.
Sure.
We did vote to have the lawyer write
Yes.
this clause. That has happened, correct?
Yes.
There were no names. Correct. Okay, thank you. No, sorry, just making sure.
So then my question was, should we make another motion to approve the social media policy based on council revision?
I'll make a motion, we approve the, social media policy based on, council revision, and that be put in place.
Second.
I would just like to amend that a little bit, or might be, just to give us more cover, but not just the council, but it be reviewed by our director and chairman of the board, and that gives you kind of a chain of command.
Sure.
I mean, I'm probably gonna get myself in trouble. And I think we need to be transparent, and we don't need, I don't want to say somebody coming in and say, well, Laurie just stuck that in there without the board's approval or approving it, but the board will have oversight on it. Does that make it enough?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll amend my motion to include a review by our director and our.
Okay, we got Steve Rowland making that motion, Josh seconded. I will ask all in favor by voice vote of aye. Aye. And I also like to reflect, any nays, I would like also to reflect in the minutes that this was unanimous also.
It is.
Luther, I have one comment concerning that, and I think, you know this, but maybe one here does not necessarily know it. One thing we agree to do when we come into, to the library board, the regional library board, as board members, is we are here, to find the best way to support the library for the people of our community. Now, that means we may not always agree with everything that's done, but we find consensus and we work to provide the services that the library is here to provide. And when someone goes off and does things that tears down the library, those things need to be discussed within the context of the board meeting. If they have concerns, discuss them there, share those within that board meeting. But within the social media, there's no context for any comments that are made, so it's not a good place, and it does not uphold your commitment as a board member to help the library move forward and provide the services it's committed to provide.
I would ask just to open any other question. If you have any, just raise your hand. Okay, I do, and I appreciate that, and I have said very, on a couple of occasions, that this board does not in any way, shape, form, or fashion need to be the least bit political. or the least bit religious, which is hurt. Some might not agree with that, but this is a library board, and it is a community library board that serves all people, for all, I don't know how to say it, I'm the old school, all people, all genders, all factions of the community. We cannot, and so we need to be open about it and thoughtful about it and inclusive. We're not inclusive. So with that, I'll keep my mouth shut and we will go on. Is that all we have on unfinished business that anyone needs to? It's all that's on the agenda. The next thing is new business, please. And I will turn it back to our director.
So new business is, I've just written a short note, withdrawal of Yancey County Public Library. And if those of you are expecting to have new information or something very vital to that conversation, tonight is not the night for that. So what I wanted to tell you is this. We now have legal counsel. So legal counsel suggestion is that we will meet at a later date with the regional board and Yancey board together with legal counsel present. So that is how we intend to move forward and the steps involved in that. So that is really all I can share with you. The only thing I want to make clear is one specific thing that I don't know has necessarily been out as much or talked a lot enough, which is about block grants. I'm not sure if everyone understands block grants, and it took me a really long time too, and I'm not going to give you the whole breakdown of the equation of population and economics, but I will say that information is out there. But as a regional system, we receive 3 block grants for each county. So Avery, Mitchell, Yancey. Because we are a regional system, we also receive an additional block grant. So what that means is it's almost like this reward because we pool resources together to say you receive this additional block because you need the funding for lower economic areas, for lower population. If Yancey withdraws, they lose access to that additional block. So I just want to make certain that I'm very clear that when information is shared that you will not lose something, that you will indeed lose access to that additional block grant. And by withdrawing, the regional system will lose some of our funds as a regional library system. Will that affect Avery, Mitchell, and Spruce Pine? Yes. But am I prepared to have a budget in place that I can adjust if I have to and still keep the services we have with the grants that I write? I'm confident in saying that I can do that. Do I want to do that? Absolutely not. Would it be foolish to do that? I will say that it will be foolish based on the budget that I just presented. So that's really it. Okay? So hopefully we'll see you at a later date. It will be a public meeting with the regional board and the local board, and you can expect to hear that announced. Okay?
There will be no announcement of it tonight, no timetable set tonight.
No timetable set tonight.
Okay, y'all know as much as I do. Any questions from the board members?
Yes.
This is a board meeting, and the board needs to, any other comment? Next on our agenda is board requirement.
So I'm just letting you know that I couldn't find one tonight, which it's a failure when I make a mistake. But every year when our regional board, and we have regional board members, they have to sign an ethics statement as well as a conflict of interest statement. So you'll all be getting that in your emails. And the conflict of interest just states if you have a known conflict of interest and it has yes or no. It's classic what And then the ethics statement was something that the state library suggested we implement last year. We did have some board members that did not sign it. I will be resending it again, because we do have to have an ethics statement on file, okay? So I just wanna cover that, and that's it.
And those ethics and what was the other one? What?
Conflict of interest.
Conflict, they are strictly, basically boilerplate. Anywhere, there's nothing in there specific on anything other than just to keep our library in. Any questions on that from the board? Board members are to be here. Hate that we don't have a full board tonight, but that's not of my choosing. Now comes that time you all have been waiting. If there is anything else from the board, there's nothing else from the board. We do now open it to our audience, and we had